Being President of the United States is a job like no other, and perhaps the only people who understand the pressure are those who've actually held the post. Whether Democrats or Republicans, these men seem to share a special bond explored in a new book, The President's Club. Its co-author, Mike Duffy, spoke to the BBC's Cathy Kay.
A first-hand report on U.S. relations with Europe is made to President Kennedy by former President Eisenhower.
The presidents are bound together by having simply done the job. Only 4 of them exist now. At the most in history, there have only been 5. They have a secret clubhouse across the street. They have special rules. They have taboos. And they also have black sheep. But they are bound together because they have done this most difficult job. They've all come out with scars, and they all know what that's like.
Okay, you uncovered lots of stories about conversations that presidents had had with former presidents. Which was the one that surprised you most, the relationship that surprised you the most?
There are 2. Richard Nixon becoming a late-night telephone buddy of Bill Clinton's is something no one would have predicted. They bonded over foreign policy, over China, over Russia, over how to organize their day. That was really surprising to me. I think the second one that most people wouldn't guess is that here's Bill Clinton, having been president, having beat George Herbert Walker Bush. After they're both out of office, they become not just sort of friends, but allies, partners in all kinds of projects across generation, across party. That's the kind of power that, having done this job and sharing that with just a few people, actually gives to men who otherwise have the rest of their lives to look forward to. That's not quite as interesting as being president. One of my favorite parts of the President's Club is the presidential clubhouse. Hardly anyone knows it exists. Even people in the White House didn't know it's here. This is a 19th century townhouse that since 1969 has been the overnight retreat and office of everyone who's ever been a former president. This is a very exclusive club. Only 3 people right now can get reservations there.
And it's still being used?
Still being used. It's just been renovated. Looks like a 4 Seasons inside. It's one of the ways the U.S. government and the United States, the American people say, you guys are different from the rest of us. We're going to give you a special after-job privilege. And you'll notice there's no sign on the door saying what it is.
Doesn't actually say ex-president's welcome.
It doesn't say only ex-president's welcome.
Is the interest of the President's Club to protect the office of the president more than it is to protect your own legacy?
One of the things you get out of being in the President's Club is that you have a little bit room to sort of rewrite history. They all do it when they leave office. It's a common thing they all do because they're all trying to burnish their reputation. So they compare each other, they compare themselves to each other, but they also share a belief that if the office of the presidency is not preserved and strengthened and maintained, the country really is in danger. They really believe that is one of the great sort of vital equities of the American democracy is the power of the presidency. And they are all advocates for that. It's another shared value.
Mike Duffy speaking to the BBC's Cathy Kay.